bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. Solar. Power up.
Warning, warning, warning.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Sports Talk 49 live on BucsReport.com. Every Monday and Friday, Monday doing postgame, Friday doing pregame, which we are today. Pregame to the Carolina Panthers, going to talk about game planning, what to do to stop. Most of it's common sense, but we're just going to talk about little things that you got to work on, what they got to work on, and to secure the victory Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. Going to give you some injury updates. Going to hear from Rick Hughes about 3:30. We're going to talk about tape. We're going to go over the winning angle, as that's my thing on Fridays. We're talking about film study, Madden 21 predictions, and Bucs offensive line, Donovan Smith, and then a tape from Steven Cheetah on how Tristan Wirfs did. I know a lot of you guys want to see how he did against premier pass rushers. We already know how Donovan Smith did versus premier pass rushers, so we're going to see how Tristan Wirfs did live on video. We'll give it to you here, but we'll get through all the preliminaries as always. See you, Christopher Cole, in the comments section. What's going on, Jeremy? How's everybody doing? Phone lines are open. We'll talk about that, but let's get to status quo as always. As always, got to give my people here at BucsReport.com love and shout out. You got Friday edition. You got me at 3:00. You got Friday Night Frenzy with Joshua Cole Allen at 7:30. Then you got Peter Blake and the Sports Web coming to you, putting you to bed, laying you down with the Sports Web, giving you something to think about as you go to bed. So let's move on. Also, for those who are gamers, make sure to check me out. Hashtag me at BR Madden Challenge. On live on Bucs Report Twitch, you'll play me, and I will post the videos live on a live stream of us competing. Trying to get the Twitch thing going here, and it's just Bucs Report on Twitch for the gamers who watch the show and whoever plays Madden, whoever that may be. I know there was a lot of controversy with Madden, but all right, we got a phone call already. Caller, you're live in Sports Talk 49. Go ahead.
What's up, man? It's Johnny.
Johnny Dean, what's going on?
How's it going, bud?
Going good.
I want to know your honest opinion, man. And be honest. Don't be a homer. Don't be anything like that. I want unbiased, honest opinion here.
All right, I'll give it to you. Go for it.
How many games this year do we play before Leonard Fournette takes over that number one running back spot?
Oh, that's a good one. I should have known you were going to come with something good. Ooh, how many games? It could, honestly, it could be any moment as soon as he makes a real bad mistake. But to give an honest answer, for week 4, first quarter of the season.
I gave him between 1 and 6. So yeah, route 4, right? What? But
And what made?
I figured it's going to take 4 games. I figured it was going to take 4 games to knock off the rust, get the team cohesive, and playing on all cylinders anyway. So I figured between 1 and 6 would be when they put Fournette in at number 1.
Yep, and get him more acclimated with the plays. More specialty plays. Like I know he knows. Like I said earlier, I know he knows basic handoffs. You don't need to know the playbook to know basic handoffs. You run at the 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8 gap. He knows how to do that. He's been doing that since Pop Warner. It's all the other stuff that you need to learn. And he's a veteran. He should know pass protection, which we're going to talk about today. I know you're going to love to see that. Offensive line, your specialty, as you talked about. But yeah, we'll see.
Once Donovan Smith quits playing around with the bull rush and starts getting to the second level, and the tight ends start thinking second level and getting to the linebackers, then we'll have screen plays and stuff that'll actually work.
Yep, because the lack of you hit it right on the head, but I'm just going to say it a different way. The lack of working alone on the edges is killing the tight end's ability to get downfield and catch passes. Because if they don't chip on the edges, they don't have time to get out for pass rush because they're not holding long enough. And I'm looking more at Donovan Smith's side, Nick Citro posted on his Twitter page at Nick Citro on Twitter. He's just got beat literally almost every play by a guy way less of opponent than him. So,
well, I heard Arians talk about Donovan Smith wanting to attack the initial block instead of taking the block on and getting to the second level. And I went back and looked at that, and he was exactly right on like 4 of the 6 plays that I looked at, that's exactly what happened. He took on the initial block and forgot to go on to the second level. And that's something you have to do. You have to take that on out to the second level. And he was talking about, O.J. Howard even said today in his interview that the tight ends are having problems getting off the initial chip and going on to the second level, taking on the block, taking on the linebackers for the screenplays. And that's why we have had lack of production in the screenplays. And I looked at that, and he wasn't lying. He was hard on himself, and he was accurate in doing so.
Yep, it's just him overall. He's never been aggressive in running plays. He tends to take on blocks instead of giving the blows. Just like that play everybody saw where Leonard Fournette came in for the very few carries. He let Cam Jordan upfield and let him blow up his running back in the backfield, and he just stood there and looked at it. It's just not aggressive at all, and it's been the same story for 5 years. I think the real question you should have asked me is, how many weeks does it take before they move on from Donovan Smith? Would have been a real good question, but we're not talking about that right now.
I was saving that for next week's show. Man. What are you doing?
How many weeks?
Get ahead of yourself there, man. Get ahead of yourself.
But I mean, he's the hot topic of discussion. I don't think everybody's that mad at Ronald Jones, really, especially when the play of Donovan Smith was just that bad. Like you totally forget about Ronald Jones. And I know Peter Blake is really standing by Ronald Jones. I really would like to see him succeed. I would like to see them all get their fair share of carries in key game situations, and that's what I believe what's going to happen. It's going to be matchups.
We know Leonard Fournette wasn't brought in here to be a second running back. We know that. He was drafted the same year as Jones. He was drafted in the first round. He's got 2,000-yard seasons behind his back. He has breakout games where he's gotten 99 yards and 81 yards. Jones has yet to show that he can break a big run like that. So there's no doubt in my mind Fournette was brought in here to be the number one back.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell. And it's be interesting to see what Leonard Fournette wants to re-sign to at the end of the season as well. It's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered. Will Ronald Jones be moved near midway point of the season? Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities because you're about right. You said 1 to 6 weeks coming into the 8th week with the trade deadline coming to an end. Ronald Jones could be a possible person being moved if once Leonard Fournette gets the plays down. But it says wait and see right now.
I think they'll go run back by committee this year with the COVID and stuff.
Right.
But Jones probably will be gone next year because they're not going to pay 2 top 5 round draft picks, and they're not going to do it. And they brought Fournette in to be felt out. They did.
And the key
that's people don't want to admit that, but look at the stats, man. I mean, just look at the situation. Period.
Yeah, and
I'd like to see Jones break one. I'd like to see Jones break at least 3 tackles. More instead of just going down the first time he gets hit or on the second hit.
That's always been the issue. Like we said, you got to break that first tackle, man. Then it's off to the races after that. I think he would have really got a big run against the Saints when Tom threw him a low screen pass, and there was great blocks because the guys were still blocked, and Ronald Jones was able to get up and run for at least 10 yards. But I believe he would have caught that in stride. He might have been off to the races. But you're right. It's just always been waiting for him to get that big gain, and it just has yet to happen.
Right. Yeah. How many years does it take to get your technique right? Because Donovan Smith, we'll go back to Donovan Smith for you. I'll get you back on track. Segue. How many years does it take to get technique right? Because Donovan Smith has been here long enough to get his technique down, dude.
I don't think you draft a guy in the second round who has no offensive tackle techniques and needs to work that much. I think Donovan Smith wasn't the guy that Tampa Bay wanted originally in that draft. I can't remember who else was on the board. I mean, who else fell off before?
Well, we got Marquette at the same time, so.
Yeah, I can't remember who was all there at that time. And Donovan Smith had the same struggles at Penn State. I mean, for God's sakes, Noah Spence highlight tape is full of Donovan Smith, if you guys don't believe me. And we all know how Noah Spence turned out in the league as far as pass rushing. And he looked absolutely dominant against Donovan Smith, same as when it was in camp. And every year they come out, oh, Noah Spence looks great in camp. And then you look at the highlights, it's Donovan Smith he's putting on his back. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. So, I mean, how many years, to ask your question? It should have been already done, Johnny. I don't know how many. It's the same conversation you want to say for Winston. It's 5 years. 5 years. He still doesn't know how to move his feet. It's never going to happen.
Exactly. And Donovan Smith's technique issues were supposed to be like worse and worse already ahead of him, dude.
He handled his business against Cam Jordan. I'm going to show that here today.
Now, he had 6 bad plays, but 6 out of how many snaps?
Yep.
For a rookie,
played the whole game
with shortened practice season.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed. I was impressed with him.
I am too, and I believe the guys when they said he was a step ahead of the game. They weren't bluffing. The kid really did look there, especially in the run game, going up to the next level. Something we haven't seen much from this offensive line, getting to the next level. He was doing it there. So hopefully, him and Alex Kappa can work out something there on the right side and get some run game going.
Winfield too, man. I said Winfield probably wouldn't start because he had a shortened practice season and stuff, and there was good safeties ahead of him. But man, I'm telling you, I was dead wrong, and I'm happy for it.
Oh my goodness, he's just a step away from several plays, and that's not a bad thing. Especially if he would have came up with that pick near the end, that would have helped turn the game around. If he could have been one half yard closer, it probably would have been picked in the end zone, but. You're right. Made the first tackle on defense with a hit on Taysom Hill. He was flying around the field everywhere. He's as advertised.
One more thing. Where did this Golston come from, man? The guy's balling, dude.
Oh, you talking about the Ghost?
Yeah, man. Where did he come from? He had the most hits in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had tackles for losses on the and that was on a team stacked with people getting in the backfield. You know what I mean?
They had a great game plan. He played very well that game. What he's very good at doing is run stuff, in which he does that very well, getting upfield. He tends to do real good when you don't ask a whole lot of him. You just ask him to penetrate the gap and get upfield. He does that for the most part, and he made a great tackle in the backfield on Alvin Kamara, one-on-one, brought his guy down, but that's the guy that we kind of overpaid originally at his rookie deal, and we expected him to be a pass rusher. But it's good to see him put in a system that helps him succeed. What I knew he was from the beginning was a 3-4 when Tampa Bay drafted him. That he wasn't that edge rusher as to be on an island on the outside. He was never that kind of guy at Michigan State. Another guy that I would have loved to see here in the system was Adrian Claiborne. I believe would have excelled real well in this defense.
Oh, my God. You know, I've preached about the Predator for so long, man, and he was misused.
He's not an outside guy.
Misused following Shiano, and they were stuck. I mean, I remember Shiano had him on the right side, stunting all the way over to the left to get a gap, to the A gap, and he was still getting in there, but he wasn't getting sacks. You know what I mean? Because he was crossing the entire field to get there, and that was Shiano's stunt, and I didn't understand it. Me and Keith Larson were in St. Petersburg at that time. And I kept pointing it out to him and stuff. I was like, "How do you do the guy like that? How do you abuse that man?" And here in the last 3 or 4 years, he's always been in the top 10 of hits and tackles in the backfield, tackles for loss, TFLs. So he's one of the most disruptive people in football, and nobody even knows his name anymore.
Nope, I said it several times.
Ben Cornett, add Winfield to that list.
Oh yeah, Winfield balled out. Yep, he said. If you don't know, we're talking about Ben Cornett says Joe Burrow and Tristan Wirfs were outstanding rookies for week 2. I'm sure there's some other ones too, Ben, but I'm sure you just mentioning the ones that you saw. But Winfield balled out as well. But yes, Adrian Claiborne.
Let's go. That's somebody else get called in here.
Yep, appreciate it, Johnny.
Later, bud.
Later. Yep, he's absolutely right. That's Adrian Claiborne was a guy out of position. I was like, he's not outside edge guy. Those are 3-4 ends. And I think he would ball out in this system here in Tampa Bay. That Adrian Claiborne had a mean streak to him, and you just tell him he's just got to go upfield and create hell, he would do that without having to stunt and do all this craziness stuff. I just think that he was just in the wrong system, and it happened, man. For Daniel T. Nessim is a guy Shiano believed in. Blake, which player for the Bucs do you think didn't play well last week will be rebound? That's kind of a loaded question. I know you want me to throw in on Donovan Smith, but you said who didn't play well that should play better next week? Mike Evans. There you go. Or did you say young player? You said Bucs. Yeah, I think Mike Evans should have a much better game this week. Healthier, I should say, and you'll come out playing. I ain't gonna fall for the Donovan Smith one, Ben. I see that one coming a mile away. But let's get into the stuff because I got Rick Hughes coming on at 3:30, and then we're gonna take a quick break for commercials, and then we'll get into that. So let's get into the injury report a little bit. Let me get back on topic. That's the injury report I had for yesterday. All Claire did not participate. Evans limited participation. Godwin did not participate both days. Jason Pierre-Paul, non-football related injury. Donovan Smith, not knee, but it should say pride. Limited participation. Jordan Whitehead had full participation. Now the Panthers stuff did change a little bit here. Gross Matos did not participate, and K'Wan Short had limited participation. But that comes to a change here. Now let me put this up here. By James Palmer, Panthers injuries, defensive tackle K'Wan Short and defensive end Gross Matos and left guard Dennis Daly ruled out for the game against Buccaneers. So that changes little things a little bit there with that injury out. Thank you, James Palmer, on Twitter for that. It changed the perspective because I wanted to go into know your pass protection as well as I go into my tape breakdown thingy there. But it's exciting that they're gonna get a chance to not get pummeled with a pass rush this week. So they're gonna end up facing them eventually, but this is a week where they need to bounce back and they need to get that confidence level a little higher. And if you're just tuning in, this is Sports Talk 49 live on BucsReport.com. Make sure to follow all of our sponsors and check them out. 320 Solar. If you finally say goodbye to your electric bill and go solar for zero out of pocket with 320 Solar, pay nothing out of pocket till 2022. Make sure to go to 320solar.com. Please check those guys out. Great guys. Guys always on Peter's show. It's just those guys, some awesome guys. Check them out, especially if you want to go solar. Also, check out mycannabiscard.com or Fast Track Cannabis Clinics of America is the nation's largest medical marijuana doctor network with over 2,500 state licensed doctors in all 32 states. Medical marijuana is legal. My Cannabis Card effectively links new patients with closest state licensed medical marijuana doctors near them while also saving them up to 30% on evaluation costs. And save 30%. Just mention Bucs Report. Also, make sure to always check out the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol. Bucs Report's official sports bar. Come check out pre, half, and post game insight from all your Bucs Report favorites. Peter, Blake, myself in the game. Awesome. Great time with those guys out there. It felt like I was at a tailgate, but we're talking football, something we would have done anyway at a game. So let's move on. We got to the injury report. Talked to Johnny. Let's go into Madden 21 predictions and why that's playing. I'm going to take me a drink and then we'll move on from there. But also make sure to follow me here at Blake Anthony 49 on Twitter. That's always there. I always respond to you. I'll check you out there. But make sure you go to that. And while we're doing that, we'll check out the Madden 21 predictions and see what they had this week. Last week, they had us beating the Saints 21-7, which that didn't happen. This week, we'll see what happens, what they got with the Panthers. Check it out.
Today, from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. NFL 21 on EA Sports. We'll see Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on Teddy Bridgewater and the Carolina Panthers. Panthers.
Accumulate big plays.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And nothing special there. They show they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight ahead power, and they got it done.
To go, and that leads to 2nd and goal. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Tom Brady taking it in. And the Bucs have made this a one-score game.
I'd have to say we're all a little bit surprised there because at his age, with his speed, or should I say lack thereof, the only rushing touchdowns I would expect are on quarterback sneaks, but here he found all of his guys covered, and he said, why not? And by the way, if that doesn't fire up your team to see the veteran like that risking his body for the touchdown, I don't know what will.
Ryan Succop for the point after. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. They'll go again to Jones. Jones hit and the ball's out. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
A very costly holding goal. 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. And he's got his man. It's Samuel. Touchdown, Carolina.
Touchdown.
The 3-yard touchdown pass. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. An out route there for the score, a quick out route there for the score.
Yeah, you're not really surveying the defense on this one. You're just counting on timing, making this play happen. 1-2, ball's out of his hands, knows where he's going, just puts it to the outside. Touchdown.
5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. K1 short, pushing through there to make the play defensively. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You're talking about guys that...
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. McCaffrey with a first down and more. The 20, 10, touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Panthers add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
There we are. Bucs lose to the Panthers on a Ronald Jones turnover, as Johnny Dean was mentioning earlier. And I kind of believe it. That better not happen. He pops up better not. In the red zone, fumble, turnover, Panthers come down to score. And I really expect if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers turn over the ball this game, the Panthers will methodically go down the field. They won't take very much risk unless it's in their favor and just score field goals and score touchdowns when they could get Christian McCaffrey into space. And I really believe that that's what's going to happen in the game. If I don't mean Madden result, just about if they don't play the play the way that they should and turn the ball over like they did last week. And if you're just tuning in, this is Sports Talk Live on Sports Talk 49 on BucsReport.com, talking about pregame to the Panthers game. Heard from Johnny Dean. We're going to break down tape and all that stuff. Well, I don't know. Should we go into Tristan Wirfs and then go into a break? Now we'll go. Yeah, I'll break down how Tristan Wirfs played since we talked about the offensive tackle. We'll hit the break, and then we'll get Rick Hughes on here and everything, and we'll go from there and talk about strategies to the next game. Talk about Rick's show coming up Sunday after the post game. Got Peter Blake coming up later. Got Joshua Cole Allen as well on today. So got a bunch of exciting stuff on a Friday. You know how Peter gets on Fridays. He gets a little crazy. Was it What Wild and Crazy Kids, Nickelodeon? But Peter's not a kid. He's grown. He's a kid at heart, though. But we'll move in to see, how did Tristan Wirfs do? How did he do? I know we didn't see him getting dominated, but let's see how he did. And Steven Cheetah will show you.
Draft in his first game came against Cam Jordan and the Saints. Take a look at the rookie. First snap, he is raring to go. He fires off the ball and does a nice job blowing Cam Jordan off the ball. His run blocking was a big strength coming out of Iowa, and just watch him dig out David Onyemata here. Really nice job. Now, Jordan had 15.5 sacks last year and a wide repertoire of moves, but Wirfs gets thrown a spin move here and barely bats an eye. In fact, he beats Cam to the spot and is there waiting for him when he turns around, and his eyes are good. Check this out here. Wirfs is responsible for Jordan, but sees him put his foot in the turf to cut inside, so he immediately turns his attention to the defensive tackle coming his way on the TE stunt. He picks him up pretty easily and takes him to his next stop on the scenic route. In reviewing the tape, something that stood out with Wirfs was just how quickly he fires out of his stance. I mean, this guy's 6'5", 322 pounds, but look at how much faster he is than everyone, even besting Jordan. I'm going to rewind this and show this to you again, but it's a little high, but look at the thunder and the shock he's got in his hands. He just locks out Cam with those big mitts. And on the next play, Cam Jordan's going to go for a chop swim move, but look at Wirfs' hand placement. He avoids the chop and he gets his right hand squarely on Jordan's breastplate, knocking him off balance. His swim turns more into a swipe because gravity is pulling him down, but Wirfs is just there to engulf him with some help from Alex Kappa. Jordan's got no shot of flattening, getting to the quarterback. Just rewind it, look at it again. So impressive for a guy in his first career start. And then finally, again, going against Cam Jordan here. Cam tries for the cross chop, but Tristan is able to get into him and push him off his spot. Look at the knee bend here and the power and the base he's going from. It's just great position. Jordan tries to flatten out, and Wirfs is just quicker and to the spot. Very impressive debut for the first round rookie out of Iowa.
There you have it, Steven Cheetah. All right, guys, we're gonna check it out. The second half portion. We're gonna talk about the winning angle. Film study. Y'all saw the Madden prediction. They predicted we're gonna lose to the Panthers. Hopefully that doesn't happen. They bounce back, and then we'll get to Rick Hughes. But first, you're gonna hear from our sponsors, mycandispicard.com, 320 Solar, and the Deck Bar and Grill. So check that out, and we'll bring myself and Rick Hughes back here, and we're just going to talk about tape. And it's always fun talking with Rick, man. It's like sitting at a guy with a bar, with a nice beer, probably Corona with some grenadine in it, because I like it because it turns red. Not sure what Rick drinks exactly, but we'll find out later. We'll get the commercial and then we'll move on.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.
And we're back. Welcome to another edition of Sports Talk 49 live on BucsReport.com. Make sure to check out the three sponsors that you saw: MyCannabisCard.com, 320 Solar, and the Deck Bar and Grill. But without further ado, let me bring in the man, the myth, the legend, my brother from another mother, Mr. Rick Hughes.
Me?
Yeah. You.
How you doing?
What's going on, brother?
Not man. How are you?
Doing great.
Good.
Talking football, try to appease ourselves till Sunday until we get you on there. And when they can find you on Sunday, Rick?
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock this Sunday from 9 to 11, right here in the cheap seats. Talking football, talking about the game from the day, and either trying to talk people off the ledge or either way, talking people off the ledge, win or lose, because that kind of seems to be the order of the day.
That's how it is. You gotta talk some sense into it. Some relax. It's like you gotta have that voice. Like, what's that painter guy? He says, "We're gonna paint a tiny tree right
here,
and a nice, with a little. Let's get a cloud right here, and some little birds. Birds are just chirping."
Yep, that guy with that crazy hair.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of Ray Kennedy a little bit.
Yes, kind of.
Woosah. All right, Rick, anything you want to get into before we start rolling the film here? I know you saw Tristan Wirfs. That looked pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, that's pretty exciting, isn't it? If the Buccaneers could do the same thing next year on the other side,
oh God,
that'd be nice.
It would be nice. I mean, like Johnny said, how long does it take to figure that out? I know it was a loaded question. Right. Johnny knows it shouldn't take 5 years to know how to move your feet and put your hands on people.
Well, I mean, I think he was practicing social distancing. I think he was doing it on the field. He did actually opt out, or he did, he's like, all right, I'm just going to stay away from these guys. 6 feet, right? 6 feet.
6 feet. And he definitely did that. Some of those, the best shot of the day was the one I posted in the group where you see the guy hitting Tom Brady and you see Donovan Smith on his rear end just looking back, knowing he got defeated. It's just that's the photo of the day right there. That says everything you need to know.
Does he realize it? Does he feel defeated? I mean, I wonder if you never hear from the guy, man, I had a bad game, I need to step it up. You never hear that. I mean, you don't hear anything. I mean, it's I don't know. It just seems like at some point you look at it and say, all right, look, really seriously, if we put somebody else in, is it going to be worse? I mean, let's get somebody else some work and see what happens.
It can't be much worse, right?
No. I mean, it's a disaster.
The fact that he should have known this was coming, because they asked you all offseason, well, how does it feel to block for Tom Brady?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure Nick Citro wasn't the only one that had high predictions for the left tackles. Tom Brady shows a propensity of making left tackles look a lot better under his system and under his rule. But this is a different dude here.
Yeah.
this is a different kind of guy here.
Yeah.
And if Tom Brady did not feel comfortable in there at all, it's clear as day. And he knows it. And Tom Brady's going to come back fire in this game. I believe so.
Yeah.
Especially with the injury update I just posted, K1 Short and Gross Matos being out. Yeah. That's lucky for.
That's a shame.
But he still got to deal with Brad Burns.
For those guys that they can't play this week. It breaks my heart.
They were licking their chops. They're like, whoa, we saw that last week. Yeah. That's going to be us. You got
to wonder if the coaching staff for the Panthers didn't say, let's give our second team some work.
Johnny Dean says, I hope he's investing his money well. I hope so. He got a family now, so
he's not short on money. So
no. That's the problem. The money's there, but the play's not there, and that's why everybody's after him, and rightfully so. You pay top left tackle money. That is not top left tackle play. and as you said, to make people feel more at ease, and I think you didn't really elaborate on it, but I'm going to expand on it a little bit more. To put more people at ease, if you'd have got in front of the camera like us and say, hey, guys, I screwed up.
Yeah.
I need to play better.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable, and expect me to play better in week 2. I think a lot of people would have took it a lot easier on him if he had came out and said that. But hiding in solitary and posting stupid posts on IG, it's childish. You're still doing that 5 years from now.
From a professional standpoint, accept responsibility, step up, and move forward. I mean, that in your job you have to do it. In my job, I have to do it. I mean, that's being an adult. Step up, accept responsibility, and move forward.
And then just deal with whatever they say after that. But you did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be a veteran on this team, one of the veterans. I think him and Allie, I think as Johnny said earlier, they came at the same time. So they're essentially the veterans on the offensive line, minus Ryan Jensen came from the Ravens. But they're the veterans, man. They should be those guys voicing their opinions.
I just don't get how you could be that unprepared for that game. He played better last year, and he played bad.
Yeah.
At least by last year's bad standards. I mean, it's. I'm at a loss.
I think you said it the best. He said, "Are we still talking about this? We're still talking about this. I thought this was it. I thought the quick release of Tom Brady was going to fix that. Evidently not.
You can't be quick enough. You can't be quick enough for what he did. You can have a quick release, but come on. I mean, there's physics involved. I mean, it takes time to step back one step. And I mean,
there's no. And with that being said, I'm not trying to insult people's football intelligence, but I see comments like, "Well, they need to go more 3-step drops." So you're going to tell somebody to run 3-step drops the entire game? That leaves no time.
Right.
Let me just expand on it. They run the 40-yard dash for a reason. How fast do the fastest people get to the 40 and the 40-yard dash? The average speed is 4.5. So if you're asking to do a 3-step drop, they're not getting 40 yards that quickly.
Right.
So you're asking to go deep, never. Everything's underneath. So pretty much it's easy to cover you as far as a defense if that's what you want to run the entire game. But it's just interesting when you say that. But there's some underlying issues that need to be fixed.
Listen, it's one thing if you're a young player, you didn't have preseason, you came in, I get it. But to come in a situation like this, where you've been playing for years, people are questioning you, people are doubting you, and then to just basically no-show. I mean, there's absolutely no way to justify it. Now, I haven't seen the latest injury report. Is he off it or on it?
I haven't seen the one for today. It hasn't popped up. As far as I know, he's probably. Okay. I imagine he's going to play. He doesn't miss games, so I would anticipate. And that's probably why he's never aggressive in games. That's why he's never hurt.
Well, I don't know. You can get hurt getting run over.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Me falling backwards, no doubt. So I mean.
Well, I don't think they put on their injury report posterior injury when being put on your best.
It said knee. I think they were trying. When you get run over that hard, it makes your knee kind of hyperextend the other way.
That's what it is.
You're going back so fast, your knee can't do it. I guess. I don't know.
It just
here's the thing, Blake, and I don't get this. Okay, this is. I understand you can't build every position in a year. Mm-hmm. All right. Now I am probably Jason Light's biggest supporter, defender, whatever. I mean, I will defend that guy to the end. Having said that, Roberto Aguayo, and Matt Gay.
Mm-hmm.
Could there not have been a draft pick at left tackle?
I mean, at that point, especially with the second pick, with Robert Aguayo in the second round,
right?
Who could have that been? That's an interesting question.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at that after this.
Yeah, I think about that, and I think everybody's thinking, "Oh, they didn't draft this guy or that guy that are glamour, skill, that are names, that are whatever." But what about on the line? I mean, even if you get a backup lineman at that position, I mean, this is why you don't draft kickers. Now, I'm a Jason Light defender. He's put together what I believe is a Super Bowl quality roster. I'll defend the guy, in the long run. But a decision, two decisions like that, you have to wonder, man, why are you just ignoring left tackle?
There's no way they really honestly believe in Donovan Smith. I know they can't. I know they can't outright say it, but I know they can't. And I think the only reason because of that, you own $14 million. Period. That's why I've brought up things to saying, hey, what about trading for Nate Soldier from New York? He's familiar with Tom Brady. His cost about the same. The continuity and communication would be an issue between them two. So camp wouldn't even be a factor into that.
And you bring bad.
But he would be somebody that, I mean, Tom Brady's made him look good, and he went off to New York and played well. That's the only reason I throw that out there. But
I forgot what the statistics are, though. In Arian's last 49 games or 50 games, he's 23, 26, and 1. I mean, you got to start to look at it and wonder, because it's during that time that Byron Leftwich really has been involved.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Oh, we got somebody calling in. Rick, see who it is. Caller, you're live on Sports Talk 49. It's me and Mr. Rick Hughes.
Matt.
Go ahead, Matt.
Hello? Yeah, I didn't know if you heard me or not.
Oh, yeah, we heard you, Matt.
I don't know where I haven't been able to keep up with the whole show, but I just watched Coach talking about Donovan Smith. Oh, my God, that's a mess. I don't know how he could possibly say he just went back to a few bad habits, but we're going to straighten it out. It's been forever like this, and it's the same thing every single time he has a bad game. It's really bad.
Well, they did the same thing last year.
I think we should try to find somebody else. Just a thought.
Yeah, Rick said he did the same thing last year with Hargreaves.
They started him, let him prove, let him fail.
I don't remember. Yeah. I know he got tired of Hargreaves and just packed his bags for him and sent him out the door, which I think is a perfectly good way to do things.
Yeah.
This year with Donovan, I think I was talking to Ben Cornett the other day on Facebook about different available left tackles. He says there's not really any out there. Mm-hmm. I don't think we can afford not to go out and try to find one that's going to at least hold the lineup a little bit for this season while we go out and get the real deal. It's too much of a hassle, and Tom Brady's going to get sidelined by the 8th game if he keeps up like this. And I would think that the Bucs would be more inclined to try to correct that problem for that reason, considering the importance of number 12.
I agree.
I would not have wanted to hear what was said.
You with me on that?
Yeah. Rick, which part you talking about? Rick was saying something. You said you wouldn't wanted to hear what, Rick?
I said I would wonder what was said behind the scenes.
Rick said he wanted to know what was said behind the scenes.
Yeah, I can't hear Rick on the phone, so
that's all
I'm
good.
not able to keep up with that.
That's all right. I'll translate. But Rick can hear you.
Well, that's good. I'll have to catch up with him too sometime this week. But that's what I was thinking. I don't really know. I don't think I'm the Lone Ranger in this. I think from the comments after last week's game, during the game, and at halftime on, people all had the same opinion that the biggest big toe on the deal was him. And that's the same thing we said last year. I don't think Rojo's ever going to get any better if we don't get that resolved. And that's going to cost him some possibly losing a position at some point as well, because he can't grow. So
I agree with that.
We need to fix that.
I agree with that. 100%. Both the pass, we hit both on the head, both with pass blocking and protecting your quarterback, and the inefficient running game. It's hurting on both ends of the spectrum.
Well, there was a play last week where Donovan got beat, but he got beat to the outside, and while he was trying to catch up to the guy, whoever the running back was got in behind that, and then they ended up 2 dead bodies on the ground, and the defensive end got in there. I was like, that's how you do it. You crash them all together and you clear up a lane.
Right.
So,
do not be shocked.
I don't know. Everything I thought was going to be resolved. The only thing that was a question mark was the line, and I thought that Tristan Wirfs was going to be the big question mark, and I thought he played very well.
Absolutely.
So we ended up right back where we started. So I don't know how long they'll put up with it, but that's my 2 cents on the deal. I don't have an answer. Rick likes to come up with a conclusion, and I don't have one. So I'm probably glad I don't.
I don't think Rick does either. For Donovan Smith right now, I think Rick is about done. I think Rick is done. Like, he's done talking about Jameis Winston. I think he's done talking about Donovan Smith. But appreciate you calling, Matt.
All right, Blake. You have a good afternoon.
You too, brother.
Listen, you're right. I'm done talking about it. We've had this conversation. I mean, let's put it this way. I promise you that just like in this conversation that we're having, there's no new answers.
Nope.
Okay. I promise you, behind the scenes with the coaches, when they're talking, they're pulling their hair out going, are we really still talking about this?
Yep.
I mean, and what they did last year.
Oh, I bet you that's Johnny Dean. Call your live at Sports Talk 49. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Johnny again.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I had to make a second call here.
Go. That's fine. They said Rick was about to go. Rick was about to go in.
Yeah, I heard Matt call in, and I just have to say something. Donovan Smith, the writing is on the wall. He is not going to be a Buck long. That's true. But at this moment, there's no option to it. You're going to put Josh Wells in there. You're going to put Haig in there. They can't hold up to that position, and you know it. We know it. They're rotation guys. And we saw what Josh Wells does.
Neither can Donovan Smith
come back last year, remember?
Rick said neither can Donovan Smith.
I mean, what do you mean they can't change it because
Wells did last year, and we were happy to see him come back in. All right, that's how bad the situation is right there. The rest of the foundation is great. Let's look at the rest of the foundation. We got Alex Kappa, we got Tristan Wirfs, who's looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
We got Brian Jensen, we got Ali Marpet. That one spot needs fixed, but there are ways to fix that spot with scheme.
Right.
There is one guy I haven't seen yet, and I don't know if the coaching staff don't feel that he's capable of going in yet. Then I'm going to side with them. Is that Zachary guy, Zach something? He was brought in as a left tackle walk on or undrafted.
Oh, from South Carolina. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he looked good in South Carolina, so I might have some interest in him. But
he's not going to be worse.
He could be.
He's not going to walk in there. He could, but we're not going to walk in right now with COVID and no practice.
Rick says he said he couldn't be any worse.
Well, yeah, they can be.
No, we said this last year with Hargraves. We went through the same situation with Hargraves.
O.J. Howard standing there watching linebackers walk past him.
No, we went through the same situation with Hargraves.
Everybody was the same situation with Hargraves.
Everybody was afraid to change it.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see. But then who's out there, dude? And what are our resources to get them?
They didn't go get somebody to replace Hargraves.
Yeah, they didn't go get anybody to replace Hargraves. Rick is right.
Are you willing to trade a first-round pick to go get one right now?
No, they didn't do that. They didn't do that.
They said they didn't trade anybody at all to replace Hargraves. They used what they had on the roster.
No, I'm not talking about Hargraves.
He's using it as an example, like for left tackle.
Yeah, well, we had a replacement at left tackle. I mean, at Hargraves' position, which worked out really well. We don't have that replacement now.
Right. We don't have one until they are. I mean, we didn't think.
I mean, it's nice when you have
Hargraves for a reason.
There's the word depth.
I mean, Rick makes a point.
Just cut somebody loose that's not working.
Yeah, Rick makes a point. He says sometimes you don't know he's a replacement until he gets a chance to play. Next man up. You never know. He might come out. You might have a diamond.
Rick Hughes. Rick Hughes. Aren't you the guy who swears that you trust Arian's judgment?
Yeah, and I trusted him when he got rid of Hargraves last year.
All right, and trust the judgment, dude.
He started Hargraves last year, and he got rid of him. And I'm saying the same thing will happen this year.
This is the best person on the team, unless it's that Zach guy, and I haven't seen him. So I don't
right. What Rick is saying is that I think that he did the right thing with the Hargraves situation. You let him come in. You pretty much said it's your job to lose. So you came in there. He looked good week one, caught the pick six, et cetera, et cetera. But after that, communication sucked. You could tell it sucked. And I said in this play, and when what the part that Arians got rid of him, the key part was the final ice on the cake. You're freaking jogging when guys are running down the sideline instead of trying to get him. That was the icing on the cake. But we're talking about offensive linemen. It's a little bit different. But yeah, sometimes it just looks like Donovan Smith's just not engaged in games.
Yeah, like I said with the Hargraves thing, we had depth at that position. We don't have depth here. If we get rid
at the time, we thought Hargraves was the starter.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, let me get this other call coming in.
Have to give up picks. All right, bud.
No problem.
Talk to you later.
Yep.
Why would you not give up picks? We're talking about drafting.
Call your loud. Sports Talk 49. Go ahead.
Hey.
Hey, what's going
How you
on?
doing?
Is this Rasul?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Oh Lord, I figured you show up. We talking about Donovan Smith.
You know, I had to jump on to keep this
Hey,
horse but
Rick Hughes is with you. Rick Hughes is done with him.
you know, Blake. You know, I've been done with him for the last 2 years. Listen,
Let's at least talk about somebody different failing.
Who would that be, Rick? Who you think? He said somebody else.
No, I'm just saying, I don't care if we bring in somebody. I don't care if you throw Haig in. Then let's talk about Haig failing instead of Donovan Smith.
Now he comes in motion to help chip block that defensive end. I don't even want to mention his name anymore. But all 76 had to do was plant his right foot and don't allow him inside. That defensive end came right inside on him. He had help with the chip block on his left. That defensive end came right inside, put pressure on Brady. That was it. It blew the play up.
See, everybody says it's a lack of heart. That he's a lack of heart. I just think it's a lack of ability.
He's been letting that defensive end come through him every time. And I remember when you made that video.
That might be true, Rick. It might be true. You said that
video that you showed, and a lot of those that you had, Blake, and you showed his footwork and what things that it centered on him what he couldn't do.
Right.
A lot of those clips came from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that defense. I forget that defensive end name. I forget even his name.
You talking about Cam Jordan or the other guy?
The other guy. The other guy.
Whoever he is.
Right.
Blew right by him. He owns him.
He did. He did own him.
He owns him. He goes right by. He doesn't respect him because he knows he's wrong. And I blame it on the management because if we see it, we've been talking about that for the last 2 years, Blake.
That's what Rick was saying too.
Yeah. If we see it, how can they not see that? The only thing I could blame it on is they knew they signed up for that big contract, and they don't want to eat it.
Yeah,
but you're going to have to eat it. We should have ate it last year.
Yeah.
Cut them, let them go, and draft. And they should have. I mean, I love the draft picks. Number 1, the number 2. I don't know about that running back. That I mean, who knows? He's good or not? If he's good or not, but you didn't need him. You didn't need that running back then. I know they didn't expect Fournette to come.
They're going to have Fournette and McCoy.
As a GM, that's your job. And that number 2 pick should have went to an offensive.
Hold on. Ask him this. Okay, ask him this. He didn't know. They didn't know they were going to have Fournette and McCoy. But what does this roster look like without Fournette and McCoy if you don't draft them?
As it is now, it's
so
not.
What do you think? What do you think the roster would look like if they just kept their draft picks and did not pick up Fournette and McCoy?
I think it would have been fun. I think everything would have been fun. You had enough. You brought in the offense was fun. The only problem with the offense was it was protecting Winston last year, and of course Winston interception.
So he was good with Rojo and Agumbawale.
Brady and half those interceptions are going away.
Well, be Keyshawn Vaughn and Raymond Calais.
He's saying instead of Vaughn draft.
On Winston, that Winston threw was he had pressure on him.
Right. That's where most picks come, where most quarterbacks.
Exactly. So you could have just brought Brady in like they did and just, I agree with the first. I don't have any problem with that first pick. But that second pick should have been another offensive lineman to replace that $14 million flop that we have. It's like, it's ridiculous. How we seen that? We've seen that the last 2 years.
Right.
I don't think he's here after this year. I don't think he's here after this year because
I don't think that's out.
I mean, it's pretty much what you see with the weak link of the offense. It's definitely that offensive line, that left side.
Right.
4 weeks. He has 4 weeks.
He's got 4 weeks, Russell. So I got to leave you one question before me and Rick get to the tape here. Are you on the Joe Haig train starting, or are you with Donovan Smith still starting? I think I know the answer, but I just want to hear you say it.
You know my answer.
He just laughing.
Let's hear somebody else fail. Let's talk about somebody else failing.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's really a shame. But we've definitely been talking about the last 2 years.
Yep. But he's under contract.
Nothing a shame.
He's under contract and he's due $14 million no matter what you do with him. I think after this year, that's it. And I think everybody's in agreement with that.
Yeah, let him go. Let him go.
All right, Russell. Appreciate you calling. Let me get to this tape.
All right.
Yep.
Y'all be.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
Johnny Dean kept me from going off.
Yeah. I saw you were about to go in on Donovan Smith. It's just I think everybody's on the same page. I don't think anybody's in disagreement.
I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of this same freaking conversation and everybody calling in like they've got a revelation and everybody, this entire conversation, nobody's going to say anything new.
Everybody's agreeing for once.
Right.
Everybody's agreeing. That's the part. Nobody's disagreeing with each other. All right, let's get to some fun stuff here, Rick, and let's leave Donovan Smith alone because I know you'll go to bed thinking about him.
That's all.
All right, so let's talk about their offense here and what they got going on. So what you see here and what I noticed in watching tape, you're going to see a whole lot in this formation right here. Why is that, Blake? Why would they do that? Because they like to get you out of position and then throw where you left from. And then Teddy Bridgewater going to make nice, easy throws. And when Christian McCaffrey's not available, he's going to try to find either 10 or 12. Those are your guys. And he'll try to hit Robbie Anderson deep when times are available. Anytime, Rick, just jump in and ask a question.
Okay. I'm at this point, I'm learning.
All right, cool. That's no problem. So you're going to see a lot of this motion in 11 is Robbie Anderson, if you don't know. All right. I'll speed through some of this here.
So who is 10? Who are 10 and 12?
10 is Curtis Samuel.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah, they're all motion, and they're basically using them as like other running backs and like other receivers catching underneath routes. Their offense with Rule, the new head coach, he's just trying to find people in space and get the ball out of Teddy Bridgewater's hand. That's the base of what I got out of their offense. They don't like to have Teddy sitting back there too long and make deep throws. That's why I said when available.
Do you know their names though? 10 and 12.
Curtis Samuel and I got it written down here, boy. So much stuff you can't remember what
I'm going somewhere with it. Well, here's my point. Who are New Orleans wide receivers?
Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Thomas, and
what did they do?
Nothing,
Nothing.
right? You're right.
I'm really not worried about 10 and 12, and they shut down the running game. Honestly, I think this week, here's my take on this, and I've got an article coming out about this. Right. You've heard the term Cinderella story. A Cinderella story, it's the team that you don't expect does well and wins. Correct. Well, there's other parts of Cinderella. Okay, the beautiful carriage became a pumpkin. Those beautiful horses became mice.
Right.
All right, her beautiful clothes became rags. And you're going to see a lot of that this week, where a lot of these teams that look so wonderful in week one and everything looks sexy for them in week one and everything's,
after midnight.
Yeah, boom, clock's good.
Yeah, you're right. I get where you're going with that. After midnight.
I mean, all of a sudden, some of these beautiful teams are going to become pumpkins and mice and rags, and it's just, I mean, these teams that look good in week one. I mean, really, how much you counting on Jacksonville? I mean, it's just be ready for a lot of the weaknesses to every week. The weaknesses on teams are going to show up more, and the strengths on teams are going to show up more. And teams like the Panthers have a lot of weaknesses right now as they rebuild, and that's going to show more and more and more.
Yep, I agree. It's like what you said. Always reminds me of that Scooby-Doo with what you just brought up. He said, "You look like a star, but when you pull off the mask, you're like, oh no, that's not you."
Right.
Like Glenn down there, I knew it was you. But you're right. A lot of teams that start off red hot first quarter of the season. That's why I like these quarters. 16 games, so four quarter. A lot of people, man, I've seen so many examples
Yeah.
of teams starting off 4-0 and then dropping 10
Yeah.
straight. I know you have as well. I've seen so many examples of that. And then teams going 1-3 or 2-4 at the beginning of the season and then go on to win 8 straight. It's just when you get hot and when you don't.
Now, who are the quarterbacks who moved this year? Okay, you got Cam Newton went to New England. They pulled off a win, but honestly, their offense didn't do much of anything. And
Cam used his legs, which he shouldn't have had to. But
correct, but that's how they won. Phillip Rivers went to the Colts. That
correct.
didn't go well. Okay.
Didn't look good. You lost your starting running back.
Right. Now, what ends up happening, I think what's happening is you're just seeing the guys who moved around. I thought that the experience that they had would be able to overcome, would overcome the fact that this was their first week with the new team. It didn't. Okay. It didn't. It's kind of like rookies when you have no preseason, no OTAs. It's what you saw last week. And you look around the league, and can you name an offense with a quarterback that's new? Any offense with a quarterback that's new that really did well? Like with a new team, not even a new quarterback. But I'm just saying new with that team.
Everybody's still gelling.
Right. So everybody, this is what we started. How do we start this? Let's go full circle. Relax.
Paint the cloud and a little bird.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted your film work.
No, you're good, man. You're making valid points. I mean, it's what you guys said. You said it first, and then you said it again after week 1. Regardless of the win or loss, it's one game.
Yep.
And they didn't get blown out. Like, if they got blown out, I'd have been a little concerned.
I'm so excited about this defense.
You talking about Tampa's? Oh, yeah. Especially if you keep them off the field and don't put them in short field, they'll be just fine. So you were just like me. I didn't really have nothing too negative to say about the defense. Because as far as I'm concerned, they made the plays they needed to make in the times they needed to. They couldn't keep overcoming a special teams blunder by that. You can't predicate that. That's not their responsibility. And then you keep on putting that offense on the field. So when you do that, that offense keeps getting more reps and they keep getting hot.
If Brady throws 2 picks, we're going to have to start saying this is coaching.
Oh, yeah. Something's going to change. It depends on how this game looks.
Yeah.
Right now with those 2 injuries, interior, the offensive line just got a huge break. So because that was part of the thing I was going to talk about with offensive line and no pass protection. That takes a load off right there because you're going to have to double 2 guys inside because you're going to have to need a pocket for Brady to throw in because with the edges come around, he's not going to outrun anybody and get out the pocket like Winston was so familiar with doing. That's the only differences between adding Brady and among other differences, but between Brady and Winston, because Winston was mobile a little bit and was able to break tackles.
Right.
Tom's not really going to be able to do that with inefficiencies at certain spots in the offensive line. But you see that deep ball there, as I told you, with Robbie Anderson, they're going to take shots when they get a chance. You're in one-on-one, he's going to throw it to beat the safety. Robbie Anderson can beat you deep. He's played against us when he was with the Jets and beat one of your favorite corners, Brent Grimes.
Little Brent, come on, don't pick on him.
Brent. And that fiasco, and then his wife, and then all that. But
he was great for like part of the first year that he was with Tampa. Well, kind of the first year he was pretty good. But after that, he was done.
I think he was done. They wanted it. I think he was upset that they wanted him to mirror people, and he wanted to be paid more, and they didn't want him to pay more. And they weren't going to do that. And this is what this is. Like I said again, I keep circling that out. You're going to see this. Remember, I said earlier, you're going to see this offense over and over. This formation right here. Tons of times, and all they do is try to get you out of place. And you see me point out, look at all these guys open. 1, 2, 3. Three guys were open. Where he chose
that's on the safety there, isn't it? That's really on the safety. I mean, what the heck was he doing?
He popped up and then right by him. And has speed enough to this game is wide open. There's other people all they do is get out of space and throw it.
I don't know what's happening, but you're cutting out real bad for me. No, it might be me. Why don't you go ahead and throw me out in the lobby?
There we go. Keep it.
Nope. I can't hear you if you're talking to me.
Okay.
Oh, now I can.
Awesome. All right, there we go.
I don't know what just happened there. I don't know if that was everybody or just me.
Technology. And here's another play right here, Rick, you're going to see out of them. I call it the clear out and go underneath. And there's 80. The fullbacks in their formation are going to be 80 and 82. No big names. 80 and 82 are – I got their names down.
The only reason I brought the names up last time was I wanted to show the comparison between Carolina's names at wide receiver versus
Ian Thomas.
the Buccaneers just dealt with.
Yeah, and it's also different kind of game plan. I mean, different kind of, arm talent as far as Drew Brees and Teddy. Teddy can get those balls there because he's younger and he doesn't really have shoulder issues. Brees doesn't have the arm strength in there. Right. And they kind of did the game plan I told last week on Friday. So you don't allow any inside passes. When you do, you light them up, which they basically did on Michael Thomas on that one in route he caught.
Right.
The slant lit up. You don't allow any of those. You force everything outside and underneath to great job. My eye and execute offense and turnovers killed them. Your pass protection here. Rick Hughes. The section of winning game. We just missed 49 Bucs report every month. Screen Rick back out. Hopefully that's up. Let's get this up for you guys. Hold on 1 second. Technical difficulties. But maybe some guys doing that. I don't know if you're like iPad channel. I should be good. Blink, you're breaking up. Okay, yes. We'll keep going. Previously, from what I want to it's not going to be that it's and as quick as possible and make two more. They're going to just keep things for him. So and then speed and like that. And that's thing like that. So I was just reading the comments. Freeze frame. I don't know if you're lagging audio. I'm just reading the comments here. Teresa, is it me? Hopefully it's good. You have to set a certain age to get example in etiquette. Let's do the TikTok while we can. So it helps now with the interior and the exterior defensive alignment out now, because you don't have to double on the inside and then let the outside guys be on the island. Now you can move protections a little bit different. Playing against the Carolina Panthers this week, defense should be ready for Christian McCaffrey to play him again. Christian McCaffrey big still in the game against each other, so it's going to be really interesting. I don't know what happened to Rick Hughes. There is. We'll try to from that. You just tune in to sports stuff on BucsReport.com. I think this is Friday, 3 p.m. So if you ever tune in at 49 live on Twitter, and we can move from there. So that's pretty much what I got. I got through everything pretty much that I needed to get through, going over tape and all those things like that. We'll just move on. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Monday, and we'll talk about the post game and what happened in the game and things like that. I think it was the screen share. That's probably what it was. It was a screen share because everything else seems to be working fine. You're probably right, Johnny. It's probably just a screen share. So, I mean, I got it up there and showed you guys what I wanted to show you on offense, things like that. And I wanted you to see the Packers. I mean, not the Packers, but the Carolinas defensive front and the things, what they're going to try to run on defense and things of that nature. That's basically what I wanted you to see, what they're going to try to do on offense. It's just basically that quads bunch formation. No, ain't nobody streaming over here, man. I think it was me doing the screen share and then the size of the videos that I'm playing. It was probably there because I tried to get the best video so you guys could see everything. That's probably what it was. So no, I know how to fix that next time. And use lower quality. I just have like 720. I'll just use standard video. It's probably what they're using anyway to stream on these because their video is kind of wonky anyway. But I'll do that next time. I appreciate having Rick Hughes on and everybody else coming on, calling in, and everybody talking about Donovan Smith and everything. But they can't turn the ball over this game, as I said earlier. I know the Madden simulation had the Bucs losing to the Panthers, and it was all off of a turnover pretty much. They should have had that game, and it's going to be the same in this game. You can't turn the ball over because they're going to dink and dunk in this game. Whatever's not there, Teddy's going to run and get the yards. He's going to feed the ball to Christian McCaffrey, and they're going to get the yards when they need to get the yards and things like that. So they got to know the pass protections. They got to protect Tom Brady and got to allow him to get the ball downfield. One thing I did want to add, though, is that I think that Byron Leftwich is calling a lot of the plays right now. I think that's what's going on, is that he's calling a lot of the plays, and that's why you're seeing these elongated plays and things like that, and not allowing Tom Brady to just go underneath and dink and dunk. I know they say they're going to work together in their offense, but it seems like it's more of these vertical passings coming on in these games versus the underneath throws. Let's see this week if there's going to be a little more integration into that versus the way it was last game. And one thing I didn't emphasize, the Saints played they have a great recipe for playing Tampa Bay. Don't think for 1 second that the Panthers aren't going to do the same thing. Don't think for a second that the Panthers aren't going to try to play press. They're not going to play press and force these receivers to get separation, because they didn't get a whole lot of separation in this game and in that last game against the Saints. And I expect the Panthers to do the same. They expect them to play up close and force these guys to get separation and rely on getting pressure up front and forcing error throws. That's why the Saints were putting their hands on the receivers so much, not letting them get free releases. I expect to see the same exact thing here Sunday. Neither is their no line's not good, but we're talking about one side at a time, Johnny. One side at a time. Their line is beat up too. Matt says we should probably have victory this week. Panthers are not good. Teddy needs more. The CMC and Carolina defense isn't the same this year. I agree. I expect another sloppy game, but improve over last week. I agree. Stop that. Let's do a TikTok. Oh God, Teresa Baxter. I don't think he said I don't think NO played so great. I think we gave them the same with turnovers, penalties, and their stupid special teams blunder. You couldn't have said that better. The special teams blunder. You can't give them the ball, man. You just can't turn the ball over to them and give the defense short field to play on, and then make your defense look bad because your inability to hold on to the ball on offense. I've talked for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm glad Rick Hughes came on. We talked for a little bit, and we'll talk more later. Scotty is hot. Got to get separation this week. You got to have these defenders respect your wide receivers. If they don't, they're going to play up and they're going to force you to make tight throws in the windows. So we'll see. Derek Brown is got Derek. Another thing, Derek Brown. What I watched on tape, he's very active at the beginning of the games. He's very active at the very beginning of the games, but later in the game, he gets very lazy because he's tired. So I expect to keep them on the field for elongated times and take away his ability to dominate and make pressure. Jensen's going to have his hands full because he's going to play over that zero technique and that one and two eye spot. If you don't know what that is, it's near the A gap and then over the guard. That's where he's going to play, and he's just going to bull rush upfield in their 4-3 defense. Oh shit! I completely blanked special teams out. They could lose the game themselves. Tampa Bay knows that all too well about them Brownies. That's a good win versus what happened to them last week. Definitely. Use Rojo and Fournette like Chubb and Hunt. Cleveland has a little beefier offensive line. They've beefed up on the offensive line, so that's how they're getting those running lanes. And Nick Chubb is just an absolute beast. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. No, I wouldn't be opposed to that, Leroy. Definitely use them like that. But they're bigger backs, and I've always been a guy for bigger running backs for that reason. Break tackles and make people scared to tackle you. But I'm going to wrap it up. You guys can follow me. For next week, I'll have the Breaking Point next Monday coming up post-game. You just watched Blake Anthony's The Winning Angle. That's what you're going to see with the Carolina Panthers coming up. They're going to have to play discipline. They're going to have to play sound is my advice for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing against the Panthers this week, because they're just going to try to get them out of place, and Teddy Bridgewater is just going to throw it in the spots. If you haven't followed me, make sure to follow me here on Twitter, BlakeAnthony49. Sorry for the little technical issues earlier. I know what it is now. It's what I got streaming on there. It's the ability. I know what it is. There's just a lot of stuff I got running all here at one time on it, and that's what it was. And then I had Rick Hughes on as well. Appreciate having you on, Rick. Make sure to check him out Sundays on live from the cheap seats post game after everything, and check him out. Make sure to check out Joshua Cole Allen here, Friday Night Frenzy, and Peter Blake in the Sports Web at 9 p.m. I got to get out of here. I got the rest of my day going. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys fighting through my technical thing. I know what it was. I know what it is. I got it fixed now, and I'm glad it worked itself out. And we'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you, guys. God bless. Fire those cannons. Look out for more giveaways and things like that I got going on later on, and appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Take it easy.
could be us, but you haven't called. Call 1-833-77-SOLAR right now and join the 320 Solar Happy Customers Club for $0 down and no payments until 2022. We'll put the power back in your hands. 320 Solar. Power up.